Is in the air. It is time for a windy watch. Brian Windhorst, let's talk about the Lakers, who will open tomorrow night at OKC. What is the latest on Luka and his hamstring?
He is not close, Greeny. There is a whole ramp up that is required when you are coming back from a hamstring. He has not started that contact ramp up yet. Look, the Lakers get a break by starting this series a little bit after the rest of LeBron, but it has not brought Luka back. A series lasts 14 days. I don't know where they'll be in 10 days, but do not expect to see Luka the first few games of this series.
A series could last 14 days if it is extended. I think many of us are trying, Monica, to find ways in our heads that the Lakers could turn this into a series. OKC is so good. The Lakers, I think, it's been an accomplishment for them to get into this second round. Do you expect them to make this an extended series?
I do not expect them to make this extended series. And I give J.J. Redick and company a ton of credit for how they game planned versus the Rockets. The Rockets weren't healthy. It potentially could have been a different story. The Thunder are healthy.
What do you think, Vinny?
I think we are stretching ourselves to make this a greater conversation than it needs to be.
Well, look, I mean, before the Rockets, for what it's worth, before the series with the Rockets, they were trying to find a way the Lakers could make that a 6-game series, and lo and behold, they did and won it. This isn't that. Obviously, OKC is not Houston, but we didn't think they were going to win that series either.
Oklahoma City is not Houston.
Right.
They are a historic team that
That's
J.J.
fair.
Redick said, hey, look, they're going on one of the best 2-year runs that we've ever seen. I will give LeBron James the respect of saying he will get you one game.
Yeah. Gentleman's sweep.
Yep.
Gentleman's sweep is the prediction.
Respectable.
All right, Windy, how about the other West series? Anthony Edwards and his knee. What do we know?
We got some surprise announcement from the Wolves last night that Anthony Edwards has been upgraded to questionable for tonight's game 1. Now, that injury was hellacious. I will say that this is one of the most incredible athletes I've ever seen. Even in a group of freak athletes, he's recovered from injuries. I don't know whether or not he's going to be able to go, but the implication here is that he may be able to come back very soon in this series. They called him week to week 1 week ago. So that's a remarkable situation there. Ant Edwards' health, Ayo Dosunmu's health will be a factor in game 1. If Ant can play the majority of this series, it increases Minnesota's chances without a doubt.
I read Chris Hines' book, Ant, over the summer. Great book. Congratulations to Chris Hines. And in part of Anthony Edwards' origin story is he would get injured playing football and then miraculously be back. So this is sort of him as an athlete. The shorter recovery times, obviously the Wolves staff will be very careful with him. But I honestly was not surprised to hear this given how he has rolled through his athletic career.
We talked about how the Celtics were being very careful with Jason Tatum, and it's a completely different situation because Ant doesn't have the atrophy that Tatum does. But I do wonder, and I hope that someone is looking out for his long-term best interest. Here, that he is not putting himself in a situation where he could get himself seriously hurt.
Right.
But I do want to see him play.
Of course. Everyone wants to see him play.
We want to see him play.
And this is the first time. The word upset is correct on the screen. The Spurs are the favorites, and they deserve to be the favorites. But this will be their first real test. We talked about how the Spurs, I don't mean to disrespect Portland, but they weren't ready for this sort of thing. That's a play-in team. This is a really good team when fully healthy. This Timberwolves team with a lot of playoff experience. That would have been the first real test for Wembanyama and company. If Edwards isn't out there, maybe we don't actually get to see it. And then back to where we began the show this morning, Windman, and that is Joel Embiid. What are you expecting from him against the Knicks as they begin tonight?
I know why you're asking. He's not on the injury report with that knee. They mentioned his hip on the injury report. He's going to get hurt in games. He's going to fall on the ground. He's going to grimace. He's going to grab his legs. He's going to limp. He's going to look like he can't move. And then he might drop 45 on you. This is the Joel Embiid experience. I have no idea whether he will make it through 1 quarter or 7 games. Watch and enjoy.
Monica, you are the radio voice of the Knicks, so you know them as well as you can know a team. That team was constructed to play Boston. There's no question of that when they went out and they got Anunoby and Bridges, it was to try and beat those wings. This is a very different matchup. Styles make fights. How do these teams match up in your opinion?
I actually think it's a pretty even matchup when I look at it. And Greeny, the one area that I do think the Knicks have an advantage is their bench. And when you talk about that bench, that includes one Mitchell Robinson who has the size, the mobility as a defender to make life a little bit more difficult on Joel Embiid. And he didn't get to finish that series 2 years ago. I'm not saying that is going to be easy, but when I look at it, they at least have someone that they trust and that they have been mindful to preserve to be healthy for this time of year.
What do you think, Vince?
You said Styles make fights. They sicked Josh Hart on C.J. McCollum. C.J. McCollum is 35 years old or somewhere close to it. Tyrese Maxey and BJ Edgecombe are super engines compared to that. You're just going to have to pick your matchup. You're going to have to decide who is going to be the most important one, almost like a cornerback.
Right.
And defense. What side of the field do you want to shut down? And I don't know if you can shut down both. And I'm very curious from a strategic matchup how they play that.
Again, though, to the Knicks bench, their speed in terms of potentially helping to slow those guys
comes off
their
the bench
with McBride and Alvarado.
They get a little advantage in rest. Also, Knicks haven't played since Thursday. Sixers just played an unbelievable game that went right to the finish in Boston. And then I'm being told that we have news this morning as well. This is just in the last few moments. Shams reporting that Orlando has fired their head coach Jamal Mosley. His tenure in Orlando, 5 years, 3 consecutive. Wolves and Spurs. Give me your favorite play in that game tonight.
So I think that one Victor Wembanyama will pull his mentor, friend, and teammate on the French national team away from the paint, one Rudy Gobert, and knock down 3 or more threes.
3 or more threes for the amazing Wembanyama. Vinny, how about Sixers Knicks? Give me a pick that you like.
Who's guarding Tyrese Maxey?
Everybody.
Don't matter.
Okay.
Nobody's guarding. He's going to score 25 plus. He's averaged 30 against the Knicks this season. 50 from the field, 50 from 3. He's going to be a tough matchup. I think it's going to start off with at least 25 tonight.
He was unreal in the final minutes on Saturday night. Monica, how about you in that game tonight? Give me a pick that you like.
Okay. This is the one I'm most nervous about, Greeny, if I'm honest. Karl Anthony Towns, 3 double-doubles in the last series. I think he's going to be focused and understand the moment. He's got to get to the glass. I'm going 12-plus rebounds.
12-plus boards for him, plus Maxey on the over 25 points and Wemby to knock down 3 threes. If you like those picks, they are a parlay with the odds of 581, plus 581 at DraftKings Sportsbook. Let's talk about that series. We opened with it. I want to save plenty of time to get to the Celtics here. So let me dive right into it quickly. So, Vinny, I'll start with you. Who do you believe wins Knicks Sixers and why?
I picked Knicks in 6. I can't believe I'm saying that out loud because Knicks fan hates me. But I do think that the Knicks have found something. When you win games by 15, 29, and a gazillion, you have figured something out. And I think they have figured something out. Philly's going to be a tougher matchup. The team speed and athleticism of Maxey and Edgecombe is going to be something. But I think the Knicks are actually ready to take this next step, at least to get to the conference final.
What do you think, Jay?
I'm going to go Knicks in 7. I think Philly is the more talented team, but I do think the experience that the Knicks have had over the last several years playing together, those reps, I think will matter down the stretch.
It's interesting.
Execution.
Let me just go back to that. Philly is the more talented team. So the combination, however you want to put it, of Embiid and Maxey at this point, I think I would say Maxey and Embiid.
Or Edgecombe
has been spectacular.
Paul George.
Obviously, as a rookie, Paul George.
I think he's playing better now at this time of the year.
We'll see. Okay, I can live with it. McNutt, are you making a pick here today? You're the Knicks announcer, but I see your name on the screen.
I think I sent in 6 in my email last night, but I actually
Let's find out.
7.
So just for the record, everybody's picking the Knicks.
I was sitting, everybody's picking the Knicks, which you're fair, Jay. I actually think this one probably will go 7, and I was really vacillating between 6 and 7 because I do think that Philly has gotten better. And to Vince's point earlier in the program, this is a different team. These are 2 fundamentally different teams.
All right, go ahead, Philly. Everyone get ready to put this up everywhere. Screenshot this.
All 4 for 4.
And put it everywhere you want. Hembo from Philadelphia, go ahead. Tell all your little buddies over there. Everybody on Get Up.
There goes
Pick
Philly.
The Knicks today. We'll see what winds up happening.